Well, hello there, everybody. My name is John Sammon. I'm from Six City Marketing, and I want to give you a little tutorial today on Bing Webmaster Tools. I've got my screen pulled up here, showing you the interface. We'll get into that in a second, but I just want to state the importance of Bing Webmaster Tools. As you know, everybody tends to focus on Google, but Bing and Yahoo, which is also when you sign up to sync up your site with Bing Webmaster Tools, you're also getting the benefit of submitting your site and syncing it up with the data from Yahoo as well. But in the bigger picture of things, I wanted to share a little nice graphic here showing the breakdown of search engine market share. This is as of August of 2018. And you can see, I want to show you the US, but also, a lot of our clients are targeting clients across the globe. So it is important to know that although Google does dominate the market share, if you look at the United States, Bing does account for 7% and Yahoo accounts for about 5%. And when you're sitting around in your office or walking around or whatever, trying to figure out how to get more qualified traffic to your website, and then of course response, leads, sales from your site, you kind of kick around different ideas. And one of the things that I've noticed that kind of gets commonly overlooked is submitting your site to Bing Webmaster Tools. So I'll just give you a quick high-level overview of doing that. So you can see I have a portal and I have a couple different sites set up within here. You can just Google Bing Webmaster Tools, create a login, and you will find yourself in this location. So I'm just going to add a site. This is another site that of all the sites that we have as part of our blanket of sites that we own, if you will, higher education marketing is one of those. And so I'll just put that in there, and right off the bat it prompts me to add higher education marketing and submit a sitemap. I'll get into that in a second, but I'll just go ahead and hit add. So one of the things that it will do is it will certainly add the site, but it wants to make sure that you own the site. So one of the things that you'll need to do is verify ownership. So whether you have a web person handy that can upload a file to your web server, or adding a little snippet of code to the header of the website, I would reach out to that person. Yet they do give you another option of adding a CNAME record, or I've got a tutorial here. A very popular plugin for SEO is the Yoast plugin if you're using a WordPress website. This is a tutorial via Yoast where it'll walk you through just adding the plugin information inside, adding the Bing Webmaster Tools verification information inside the plugin on your website. But one way, shape, or form, there's a way to get it verified, and depending upon how much help you have, it's fairly easy to do. So once you verify that, I'll show you some of the information that you can get into to to not only see what's happening on your site. For some reason it's stalling a little bit here, but also get some data on it. So I can go into, sorry, I'm trying to just get back to the dashboard here, and there's a little bit of, there we go. Okay, so you can see that it's telling me that I submitted highereducationmarketing.com, but it's not, ownership hasn't been verified. Let's go into a site that I have literally about 15 minutes ago verified the information for. And what happens is that when you sign up for it, it will take a little bit of time to populate the data. But a couple of things that you can be aware of, if this, I'm just showing you this because if this shows up, it's like, where's all the data? And it does take a while to populate. So I'll go into one that is populated already for our own site. So you can see it gives you some high-level activity, what's going on with the website. So clicks from search, like what's happening on it, period in search, pages crawled, crawl errors, which is something that you want to keep an eye on as well, that you can remedy with it. And again, these are just kind of things that Bing sees kind of behind the scenes. that you need to remedy with the website. So if there are any, if you had taken down a page that has irrelevant content and you haven't necessarily redirected it or asked the search engines to not see it anymore, something called no indexing, you'll want to try and remedy these errors just because the search engine look at your website and say, well, if there's a lot of errors going on, like 404 errors, it can hurt your search engine ranking just because it's an indication of whether your site is healthy or not in the eyes of the search engines. And then, of course, pages index, meaning how many pages Bing sees on your website. Now, a lot of these parallel in Google Webmaster Tools in that, if you have, say, 400 pages on your website and Bing only sees 100 of them, then that's traffic that you're missing out on. And one of the things that you can do to remedy that is to submit a sitemap. So you can go in here, and a lot of people have something called an XML sitemap. If you have a WordPress website, this is my blog website, you can install a plugin. I highly recommend one called the Google XML Sitemaps plugin. But basically, you just install it, and it generates something called a file called an XML file, which essentially you submit by copying the URL. This is the Six City Marketing one, but you can see that I submitted it. You just copy the URL in there and hit submit, and it's basically a way for Bing to see how many pages you have on your website. So if they missed any, that's one way to show them that they're missing some of the URLs and potentially get the number of index pages higher. One of the things that we talked about too is that if you have web pages on your site that you don't want Bing to see, you can do something. I'm sorry, that's disavow links. You can block URLs. So if you have URLs on your website that you don't want Bing to see, you can put those within there, and you can see there's a number of positions on our website that we've hired for and we're not hiring for right now. So we're just asking Bing to block those so it doesn't look like a page it's not showing a 404 error, page not found. You can do something called disavow links. So if you find some spammy links in your backlink profile that you don't want Bing to see or forgive, you can enter those within here. And there's plenty of other things that you can see on your site. So page traffic. There's a lot of data that you can get lost in on this, but I won't go too much into detail on that right now. Just because you can get lost in it, but there's a lot of really, really good data. The one thing that I'm trying to emphasize to you today is to verify your Bing Webmaster Tools to see indications of your website health. Certainly making sure that they can see all of your pages, removing any pages from the index that you don't want Bing to see. An example of that recently for a client was that they're using a lot of syndicated content on their website, and often syndicated content can be shared on multiple sites across the web, hundreds, thousands of sites, especially for a particular industry. So that can hurt your search engine position ranking in Bing and in Google. So you want to get that taken care of. And then if you have any old backlinks that are being indexed, or that Bing is showing that you may have built in the past that are now considered spammy, either you or an old SEO company that you've used, it's important to get those cleaned up. And like I said, Bing and Yahoo, which both of these go to, represent about 10% of the market share in the United States. So if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, that's 10% more search engines that you can get exposure on and drive traffic to your website. So it's part of those. It's part of a cleanup that you can take advantage of. So hopefully this tutorial has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on our website. It's citymarketing.com. And again, my name is John Sammon. Appreciate you watching the video, and have a great day.